Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am Ashwin from Ashwin's Tech Talks, and in today's video, we will be discussing negative indexing, various string formatting methods, and how to concatenate strings. Now, setting that aside, let's get on with the video, guys. So, in the previous video, we talked about slicing and character access using indexes or indexing your strings. Now, there's another form of indexing known as negative indexing in Python. And it's also possible to use negative indexing to access the various characters of a string using slicing or character access. And the thing about negative indexing is that we don't start counting from the beginning of the string, rather, we start counting from the end of the string. And in this case, the starting number is actually not 0, it's actually -1, also known as the end of your string. Now let's look at an example so we can be familiar with using negative indexing. Okay, in the Python launcher, we have a variable intro equal to a string hello world. Now let's say in hello world, I just want the characters ORL of world. What do? Well, I do slicing, string slicing. But in this case, instead of using positive indexing, we're going to use negative indexing. Let's do it, shall we? We first start out with our print statement, of course. And intro, square brackets. Now remember, in negative indexing, we start counting from the end of the string. So our starting number is -1, and that represents D. Let's see what -1 represents. Okay, it's D. So we have to count backwards, and as we count backwards, it decreases. So this is -1, -2, -3, -4. So that will be -4. Now, you might think this will work. Let's see. Let's run it, shall we? Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, we got nothing. Well, the thing is, in negative indexing, the first number that you set in your range is actually not the number you start from. It's that number that you end with. So in this case, we have to switch our numbers. We have to put the -4 first and the -1 last. Let's do it, shall we? -4 colon -1. So what do we get? We get OR. See? That's how it works. Negative index has an inverse range operation, and that's why it does that. That's why when we first run the program, we got nothing, because it can't do that. It doesn't recognize that negative indexed range. It only understands in this form. So remember to switch your starting and ending integers when you're using negative indexing. Now, another helpful function associated with strings is the len function. And the len function allows us to get the value of any string without actually individually counting its characters. And it's especially helpful when we are operating with very long strings or even multi-line strings. Now let's look at how to use the len function with a Python program. Here I have the variable a equal to a string coding with Python. And let's say I want to perform some slicing with this string or variable. And I want to know how many characters in total are in the string. I can count it, of course, but I'll just be here for just a long time. Now, there's an easier way to do this with using the len function. So let's do it. We first start with our print statement because we want to know how many characters are in our string. We write len. See, Python already recognizes len as a built-in function. We put brackets and we add our variable a. There we go. And now we just run the program. We get 18, and that's the number of characters in our string, including the spaces as well. Now, let's say we want to use this for a multi-line string. So let's change this to multi-line string coding with Python. Python is awesome and very fun to work with. Okay. There we go. And remember to close our multi-line string. There we go. And now we just print it. 66 characters, including the indentation. Wow, I did not expect that. Now we could count it to begin with, but we didn't. We just let it go. So yeah, that's the len function. Now we're going to look at some common string formatting methods, starting with the strip format. And what the strip format does is that it removes any white space from the beginning or end of a string. Let's look at an example, shall we? We have the variable a equal to hello world. Let's say I insert a space in the beginning and end of hello world. Now, let's say I want to remove this now. How do we do it? We use the strip method. So we start out with print. Now, it's a method. So this is how you use methods in Python. Now, since we're using a variable, we write a dot strip and bracket. That's how we use the strip method. And we run the program. See, the space in the beginning and end of hello world are removed. Okay. That's the strip method. Let's move on to the second method, the lower method. And what the lower method does is that it returns or displays a string in all lowercase characters, which is pretty important in some cases. Let's have variable b equal to coding, all caps. Let's say I want to change this all to lowercase. Let's do it. Print b, it's a method, remember, so b dot lower, go, and bracket. Run the program. Here we go. Coding is in all lowercase characters. The third method that we're going to discuss is the upper method. And the upper method displays or returns a string with all uppercase characters, the opposite of the lower method. So we have the variable intro equal to a string, hello world. And let's do it all lowercase characters, shall we? And let's make this uppercase now. Print intro dot upper. And we put the brackets. We run the program. Here we go. Hello world, all uppercase characters. Now let's move on to the fourth formatting method, replace. And what replace does is that it replaces a part of a string with another, or it can be the whole string entirely, but it just replaces a string with another string. So we have the variable c equal to string. Now I want to replace something. So let's do print c dot replace. Oh, that's lowercase. Oh, I added a bracket. Oops, sorry for that. C dot replace bracket. I want to replace the part of the string that says str. So I want to remove str. Make sure that it's the exact same as what's on the string with just a capital B. Let's see what we get. Run the program. We got Bing, so we changed string to Bing by replacing str with a capital B. Now we're going to look at the final string formatting method known as the split method. And the split method splits a string into substrings, small parts of a string, if they are instances of a separator, if there's a separator like a comma inside a string. Let's look at an example. A equals coding Python, let's say coding with comma Python. So there are instances of a comma 2 times, right? Let's say I want to remove these. I want to remove the comma and split this string into 3 substrings. We use the split method. So we do print. It's a method, so a dot split. and we put in our separator, which is our comma. Let's run the program. And here we go. Python split the string into 3 substrings. And the 3 substrings are enclosed by single quotes and are put inside a list. And that's how the split method works. It returns its result, or the substrings, inside a list. Now we're going to look at an example where we're going to check if the string pet, or the phrase pet, is in this string represented by the variable text. And the string is Peter Piper picked a pickled peppers. Now let's see if the phrase pet is in the string. So this is how you use this method, or this operation, to check if something's in a string. We can use the if commands, but the if commands we're going to look at in greater detail in a later video. We're just going to use this method for strings only. We can't use it for other numerical types or other data types, only for strings. So let's say we have the variable x. Okay, we assign the variable x to pet. And we write pet in text. Okay, and we write print x. And x is basically our answer. We want to know a yes or no if pet, the phrase pet, is in our string text. So this method actually returns its result as a Boolean value. And remember, Boolean values is true or false, 0 or 1. Okay, so let's run the program and see what our result is. It's true. Yes, it is true, because the phrase pet is in our string. We have a pet right here. And actually, that's it. That's the only pet we have in Peter. That's the pet. We can also check if something is not in a string. So how we do that is, let's say we want to, let's put 1, 2, 3, shall we? And let's put not. We have to put not in. And not is going to be described in greater detail in a later video known as logical operators, okay? But let's just use the not operator in this case. And we're going to check if 1, 2, 3 is not in text. So we run the program. And it's true. Yeah, of course. Do you see any numbers in this string? No, 1, 2, 3 is not there. So it's not. So true is the correct answer. Now let's say if we replaced 1, 2, 3 with pet before. But in this case, we're going to change the quotation marks to single quotation marks. Let's see what we get, shall we? And let's remove the not, put it back to normal. Let's run our program. It's true. Pet is there. It doesn't matter what quotation mark you use to check if some set of characters are in your string. It just matters on the case and the case of the characters of the phrase that you use to check with. So for pet, if I didn't put a capital P in this case, it would be wrong. There, see, false. It's not in there. But actually it is. It's just that the P is capital. That's because Python is extremely case sensitive. And remember to have your string characters the exact same as what you're referring to in order to get a true or false value. Now we're going to look at our final and most important lesson on strings, known as string concatenation. And concatenation means that we're going to combine 2 separate strings to form one whole string. Let's look at an example, shall we? So we have the variable a equal to hello. And we have the variable b. B equals the string world. You might know where I'm going with this. We're going to combine a and b to form a string hello world. So we're going to do print a plus b. Let's print it, shall we? Let's run our program. Hello world. Now let's say I want a space. So we add a space. So A plus, we put two quotations, and in that two quotations, I just press the space bar. I add a space. And remember, a space is also defined as an individual character of strings in Python. We run the program. There we go. Hello space world. Hello world. We got it. Now, let's say I want to change B to not a string. Let's say I want to change it to a number. Hello 2020. And we run our program. Uh-oh, what happened? We got a type error. That's because we can't concatenate or we can't combine strings and numerical types such as integers and floats. And I will show you how to concatenate strings and numerical types such as integers and floats in the next video. Okay, we've reached the end of part 2 on strings, and we will finish up strings in the next video, part 3 of the 3-part mini-series. Until then, it is bye from Ashwin Tech Talks. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon to be notified on upcoming videos. Bye-bye.